All right, how's it going, everyone? So we're here talking about the policies here, and for 2019, or so for 2019, for 2022, for Comic Con, and their draconian COVID policies, and then we'll get into the little tax issue right here, which I talk about in the full video. But little backstory is I had reached out to Comic Con to set up an interview with David Glancer to talk about their policies for 2022. They did not like that, apparently, and even though I had the interview scheduled a couple weeks ago, they backed out on that. They said, "Oh, we're busy, just email us your questions." And I was having conversations back and forth. I was calling every day saying, "Hey, give me a response. I have a deadline," which was actually last Monday, but I pushed posting out the video till now because I wanted to give them the opportunity to respond. And since they haven't, you know what? Fine, they can address this after the fact. So let's go ahead and talk about this. So they do have the policy this year. You have to wear your virtue signal device in the convention center, regardless of your jab status, and really a benefit for you guys who took that experiment, right? You were told you wouldn't have to do that, and oh, no, you have to do it. That sucks. So, in addition, you will be required to provide the verification of full jab status, which, what the hell does that even mean? It's like people saying I was fully jabbed for smallpox, yet I still got smallpox. Oh, wait, we got monkeypox. Why aren't we testing for that, Comic-Con? Why? Make sure everyone has their smallpox vaccine so they can attend because you really care about everyone's health and safety? Nah. This is all virtue signaling. Not about health and safety. So, and there's only acceptable face coverings allowed. So if you can't wear a mask or can't wear certain types, or you just don't want to, for me, I can't wear one for a long period of time, and I'm not wearing one in the convention center for that long. Screw that. Not doing that. And I was told by my doctor not to anyways, so there you go. Doesn't matter, I guess, what people's medical conditions are, because it's all about health and safety and not science or anything like that. But I digress. This whole policy is just some woke garbage to me. But I have a feeling why this is happening, and it's because Comic-Con is looking at basically Hollywood bailing them out. And you can read more in this Times article later. I talk about it on the full show. But Comic-Con's in the red right now. They had an $8 million loss last year, and their state tax exemption is threatened. So they're identifying partners who can develop products, retail destination experiences for the millions of fans not able to partake in the annual Comic-Con convention experience. Basically, they're licensing out Comic-Con is what's happening to Hollywood. And Hollywood's going to run with that, and Comic-Con's going to get royalties from it. So that's their way out of the red. So it's no longer about Comic-Con. It's no longer about the original intent of the show. It's now Hollywood Con. That's what this is morphed into. But we're going to go through the interview really quick, and I'll break it down piece by piece when we go through it.
Restrictions will still be enforced. On top of that, they'll be some of the most strict in the nation. According to the convention's website, participants will not only have to wear masks, they'll also have to present proof of vaccination and submit a negative test within 72 hours of check-in. And if you need a medical exemption, you're out of luck. If you're unable to wear a mask due to a medical condition, you'll be asked not to attend. You'll see the full list of requirements again there on your screen. Critics of the decision call the new rules overly restrictive, especially considering that even bigger events in the state like Coachella had no mask nor vaccine requirements. Joining us now to discuss the new rules is Comic-Con Communications Chief and Strategy Officer David Glanzer. David, great to talk to you as always. Been a long time since we had a chat.
It really has. It's been a little over 2 years, and we're excited to get back in person. And
to be fair, guys, David's a nice guy. I've interviewed him before. I feel like this is just fallout from the board's decision.
trying to be as safe as we possibly can.
Well,
I hate that statement of safe as we can possibly can, because if that was the case, you would make sure no one with STD showed up, because there's a small risk that someone with an STD could transfer that to someone else at the show. We should make sure that, anyone with any disability not show up, because they could theoretically, have a, worse time at the show, are more susceptible to getting sick, yada, yada, yada. I mean, the insanity of this policy, it's beyond me, but I digress. Let's play the video.
you've always been a good friend of the show, and I just want to start with a question that I know a lot of people are asking right now.
Seriously? Yes.
Seriously?
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because I think while Coachella may have had a different scenario in which it accepted its people, a lot of those are outdoor events where, as we know, there's a lot less things are communicable less when it's in outdoor environments.
That's medical misinformation right there.
People within the confines of the convention center. And the truth of the matter is, these are the same requirements that we had for our first show in November, the Comic-Con Special Edition, and in the April show, WonderCon in Anaheim. So it's nothing really new for us or for our fans.
Who made this decision? David?
This shouldn't be normalized, though.
The board of directors, we have a committee that makes recommendations, and they did. Again, it's we decided to be prudent and be safe. We'd rather have people be healthy and safe than not. So again, it's a continuing policy that we've had since.
But shouldn't be in existence because it doesn't make any sense.
We've had vaccines for a while. The efficacy of those vaccines is still greatly in question. Like also the boosters, people who've had the vaccines, the doses, the boosters, they're getting COVID. A lot of them are asymptomatic, and it just seems like we're in a place. I understand erring on the side of caution, but it almost seems like we're going backward. I mean, we've had the Super Bowl. We just mentioned Coachella. We have large events. I mean, we had the Top Gun thing with, what, 1,500 people in the Civic Theater night before last. Doesn't this kind of seem like we're going backwards? And people a lot of them are wearing masks anyway. How does that shake out?
Yeah, I think you bring up a very good point, and that is that even though people are vaccinated and whatnot, some of them are coming down with COVID. So I think
a lot of them are.
The mask requirement, we're hoping to reduce that or lessen that. We have a lot of young people who come to our show, elderly people who come to our show, and people in the mid-range as well. And again, I think a gathering of 1,500 people is fantastic, but that would be a small room at Comic-Con. Some of our panel rooms have an excess of 6,000, 7,000 people. And when you have 135,000, close to 150,000 people in very close proximity, I think, you want to be as safe as you possibly can. And look, hopefully next year this will all be behind us. We'll all be maskless except for those costume masks. And this will be just a memory.
I guess the question
the health and safety thing is bullshit. I'm just going to say that much.
I've heard a lot of people talking about is.
And to be fair, I've gotten sick at Comic-Con before, and I've never once said, oh my God, Comic-Con, why haven't you implemented these health policies? Because I got sick. We're all adults, so we can make our own medical decisions. We don't need Big Brother. We don't need these corporations telling us, oh, you should do this. It's for your health. No, let me make my own health decisions. If people want to wear a mask inside the convention, great. If they feel that helps them, great. If they want to get 1,000,001 jabs to make sure that they feel safe, great. That should be their prerogative. It should not be the prerogative for everyone to do this one-size-fits-all thing. Although it's not even one-size-fits-all, because if you've had your jabs, you don't have to test, even though technically you can, and I should say scientifically, you could theoretically spread it. I'm saying theoretically because YouTube, but yes, you can spread it. That's documented now. Breakthrough cases, as they call them. So why not have everyone test? Why? So because you got your shots, you virtue signal you're the better human being, so we're going to make it less strenuous for you because we think you did the right thing. No, screw that. Everyone test or no one test. Preferably no one test. That's the solution. No tests, no masks. Sign a waiver saying you're not going to hold the convention liable for getting sick at the show if you get sick. Easiest solution right there. And if they refuse to give refunds to people who are requesting one, that's going to be another topic. I can imagine that landing in small claims court at the bare minimum, potentially a class action. And it's going to be interesting to see because I'm in the process right now trying to get them a refund. So I got family that's still going who I bought tickets for. So I want to make sure that my badges are returned and not theirs. So we'll see how that works, but that's going to be a nightmare, I think. And it's not really the best time for them to do this policy considering their tax status right now and everything else. Because if you have a fully booked Comic-Con, I say fully booked meaning the panels, the vendors, all that kind of stuff, right? Which I doubt even because they haven't even released the panel list yet. If you have all that and say it's the size of the November show at San Diego Comic-Con, which they still had tickets at the door, good luck getting your money back. That's a loss right there. And if you're already in the red, oof, not good. But I digress. Let's continue playing the video.
Why not just choice? If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't worry about it. A lot of people wear masks anyway. So why not give people the choice? Because you're asking for proof of vaccination or 72 hours in advance. This just seems like 8 months, a year ago.
Yeah, and I think if COVID was a non-issue and zero.
COVID was a non-issue and zero. Let's just break that down really quick. That means what the board is saying is if there's a single case, and this is one of the things I wanted to clarify on, but we could have had a nice interview and clarified that statement. Now we can only assume, based on other decisions, that if the board even sees one COVID case in San Diego County, mask policy is back, test policy is back, jab policy is back, because it's all out of an abundance of caution. Really? People get the common cold. Oh my god, everyone wear a mask. Flu season comes around. Oh my god, everyone wear a mask. Monkeypox? Oh yeah, well, if you have your smallpox jab, apparently you're fine for that. But it's just completely ridiculous. If it is being influenced by Hollywood, shame on you, Comic-Con. Shame on you. Because you used to be about comics. Now you're just shilling for Hollywood. Come on. I mean, I know Hollywood has a lot of money. That's not about comics anymore. I mean, there's a very, very small section by Hall H that is comics. The rest of it, Hollywood, vendors, and other stuff. I mean, the whole comic part of Comic-Con, it's fairly minimal now compared to its original show, which is literally all about comics. Anime Matsuri, all those any other conventions, right? Even Phoenix Comic-Con, which by the way these guys sued over years ago, so now it's called Phoenix Fan Expo or something like that over the naming rights. Those guys do comics better than Comic-Con. Yeah, there's a lot of comic people there, but most of the show now is like Hollywood oriented, pop culture, anything else, but not like the original 10 of comics. Long gone. Hollywood's been embedded in Comic-Con for years. I want to say it was the year they had Twilight. When was that? And it was I think I was still in high school or maybe into college, but it was a long time ago. And I remember Hollywood taking over that year, and it used to be like you could buy tickets at the door. It was really inexpensive to go. Still a lot of comics in there. I mean, there's some stuff in there like movie or TV wise, but like it hadn't like fully taken over yet. And then, boom, Hollywood takes over. And don't get me wrong, there's some shows I like to see and everything there, but I bet you it's Hollywood driving the board's decision here and saying, well, if we're gonna go into the deal for you, then we expect that if we're going to bail you out, that, you abide by these policies, which is going to turn into the rules for thee and not for me thing, because a lot of the celebrities will probably be flaunting the rules. They'll be like, oh, look at us. They'll be up on their hall or whatever that they're presenting it, like Hall H or any of the ballrooms. They'll come up and maskless and be talking to the crowd, and it's all a bunch of virtue signaling. I mean, rules for thee, not for me. So that's what we're going to see, I bet. And we did see it during the other convention, during WonderCon and Special Edition. So see what happens. You guys can look that up on your own if you don't believe me. But it did happen, and I suggest using a search engine, not Google, because Google is very biased and pushes progressive stuff up to the top. But moving on.
I think we wouldn't have a mask mandate, but sadly that's not the case. And we hear of more people. I think hospital admissions are.
But why are they in the hospital, David? Why? Are they in there from COVID? Or are they in there because of other things, which I cannot talk about on YouTube? We'll see. I would love to break down those numbers a bit more, but I can't on YouTube because censorship, Gestapo.
Up. We want to err on the side of caution, and it is a choice. If you don't want to wear a mask, you don't have to attend the event. We want to see you next year when you can come back, and hopefully this will all just be a
hopefully.
memory.
So, David, how is enforcement going to work? Obviously, when somebody goes...
I almost want to play that video that I had.
Here, so...
You see, start talking, and make like a motion. Here we go. This is what you're going to hear.
Oh, he's behind the camera there. But
listen here.
That
This is the
being
part.
said, not a lot of people here. So
And I did, like I said, I took this off afterwards. So if you're going to complain to me in Comic-Con, don't care.
Oh.
Keep vigilant, everyone. Keep vigilant.
1984 wants its announcer back.
Yeah, that pissed me off. That was sealing the deal for me. I was hopeful for 2022, but you know, stuff like that, not a fan. And again, I flaunted the mask rules after I got past security. What are you gonna do, Comic-Con?
How is that going to be policed? How is it enforced?
I think we'll do it.
So he talks about like policing the policy. You know, we'll tell people, you know, they need to put it back on, and we're gonna see something like that. So I'm done with this interview. Every time I watch it, this is like the third take of me doing this video, and it's ridiculous, completely 100% ridiculous. I hope Comic-Con reverses this policy so they don't go broke because they went woke. And we'll see what this entails for them in the future. But it's not good, guys. It's not good. So, Comic-Con, more than welcome to address this video. Talk with me. If not, well, I'm probably not getting press badges anymore after this. Probably not getting whatever. But you guys burned that bridge long ago, so I don't care at this rate. It saves me some money not going to Comic-Con anyways. But whatever. So I'll be in town. Hopefully Secret Death Clock show, which I will still go to. But beyond that, lost interest if the board's gone full woke. So like, share, subscribe, guys. Do all that good stuff. And I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for watching.